You're welcome to Election Brief on JoyNews on Multi-TV channel. My name is Araba Kumsin. Coming up in the next 25 minutes, as Vice President Dr. Bawumia argues the MPP has delivered infrastructure projects in excess of 17,000 with an eye on value for money, questions emerge as to whether citizens are benefiting or seeing a change in their lives.
We don't really believe. Goes back to the 3 C's issues. That we're talking about, the issues of consistency, the issue of coherence, and the issue of credibility. And for a lot of people, hard infrastructure is actually what gets to their core.
Also, President Kofi Buah calls on Ellembelle constituents to retire the incumbent Member of Parliament for the area, Emmanuel Ama Kofi Buah, in the upcoming parliamentary elections. We'll take you live to the Western Region, where he is on his second day of the tour of that particular region.
Investment will happen.
We have a lot of investment in Ellembelle. Kofi Buah has done well. Let's see him off nicely.
Still on the MPP, the party is targeting 90% of the votes in the Ashanti region.
The agenda is simple. Agenda 47.
And the People's National Convention set to elect its national executives and presidential candidate on the 19th of September this year. We'll also go to the Volta region, where former President John Mahama has been campaigning. There's more after this. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are. We are live from our studios at Kukumimle, also on your digital TV, DSTV channel 421, GoTV 144, and on YouTube. And we're streaming live on myjoyonline.com. Now, to our first story, some social, political, and governance analysts have commended the Kofi Buah administration's delivery of infrastructural projects, but are raising questions on the direct benefits to the citizenry. It comes after Vice President Dr. Bawumia's delivery yesterday on what he tagged as a data-driven presentation to argue that government has undertaken infrastructure projects in excess of 17,000. This, he says, is better than what was provided by the opposition NDC in its 8 years in office. Here are excerpts of Dr. Bawumia's presentation last night.
Since coming into office, the MPP government has embarked on numerous infrastructure development in the health sector. We've awarded contracts for the construction of 429 CHIPS compounds in rural communities. 243 of the CHIPS compounds have been completed and commissioned and are in use, and 186 are ongoing. We are constructing 55 maternity blocks and wards are being constructed at different health facilities across the country. 36 have been completed and 19 are at various stages of completion. Some of the completed projects are in communities including Ejuman in Afija Kwabre, Frimpong Manso in the Tiwa district, Boko Central, Aveyime, the North Tong district, Danladi in the Nkwanta North, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, in collaboration with the private sector, we have delivered the first infectious disease center in Ghana. And this was constructed within 100 days and has since been commissioned for use. To improve delivery of essential services at deprived and remote communities across Ghana, in collaboration with Zipline, we have constructed 4 drone centers at Omeneko in the Eastern Region, Vopsi in the North East Region, Mampong in Ashanti, and Sekiriosi in the Western Region. At the end of June 2020, 79,800 medical products have been delivered to 945 health facilities by drone. And all these deliveries, when a drone is called in, it means there's a critical matter at stake. A life is about to be lost, and we need the blood urgently, we need the snake serum urgently, or we need the drip urgently. But when you call in, so all these 79,800 products, you can really think of it as lives that are being saved. And that is the impact of this drone project. And in addition, it has delivered over 2,500 COVID-19 samples to testing centers in Accra and Kumasi. As you know, as part of our health infrastructure, we have equipped the National Ambulance Service. At the time the MPP came into government, the National Ambulance Service had 55 semi-functional ambulances in the country. Semi-functional, I'm being a little generous. And these 55 semi-functional ambulances were serving over 30 million people, which translates into a ratio of 1 ambulance for 550,000 people. An attempt by the previous government to procure 70 ambulances resulted in the shipment of 30 Sprinter buses without equipment into the country. Now, not surprising, one of the key outcomes of the constituency needs assessment that we undertook revealed the need for ambulances in every constituency. People who otherwise could have lived rather lost their lives because of the inability to get to hospitals on time to receive emergency treatment while on their way to hospitals, especially pregnant women.
So you heard the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, President of policy think tank Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, says ultimately the voters will be the best judges of who has done better in infrastructural provision between the NDC and the MPP come December.
It's an important conversation to have, and I think that the MPP have done themselves some good by now bringing the conversation to the level where the Vice President has had to speak specifically to the issues on infrastructure. You see, when they did the accounting to the people, I think the town hall meeting in Kumasi last year, we were quick to say that they undershot themselves in terms of the infrastructure achievements they have made. They counted just about 5 major projects. We counted 22. And we retained a value which was obviously based on our own metrics. These metrics, by the way, have been used for the NDC, so nobody can quarrel with it in terms of whether it's been fair or not. And we retained a value of almost 46.44%. So I'm happy that we're now working up to the realization that it's becoming an important conversation to have, solely because the NDC has made a meal out of the whole political conversation. The next question somebody will ask is, apart from value for money, what exactly are you getting money for in order to prosecute this agenda? Right? Because the NDC can come back and say, well, you're welcome to the debate, but I used maybe 50-something billion to prosecute this agenda, which looks as if I did a bit better per the mining skill, because we did 51.3% in infrastructure from 2012 to 2015. But you had the same period of 2016 to 2019, and while you are doing 44.6%, but you borrowed more. In fact, you borrowed probably 3 times, or a little under 3 times more.
Also speaking to the issue is political scientist with the University of Ghana, Dr. Ali Duseidu.
Town hall meetings, I just wanted to add to my senior colleague's submission. You see, they can serve 2 major purposes. It is a good governance tool, a tool for enhancing good governance by deepening transparency and accountability, but it is also a tool for political communication. In the first instance, the element of transparency comes in when government is able to tell people what they have done and then provide an opportunity for people to verify what they have said by creating a link so that people can actually go and verify what they have said and contest it. But it also serves as a little bit of, and then also sometimes the cost. The government is able to tell you how much money is involved and whether there's cost-benefit analysis prior to embarking the project and whether state resources have been saved in that regard. So when you become more transparent, it deepens the ability of the people to hold you to account. so that you'll be able to interrogate the figures and then the projects that you have put there and see whether they actually work very well. So it's a very good mechanism for deepening good governance, but it is also a political communication tool. There is a tendency that political parties can use this forum to propagate a specific political agenda aimed at getting the electorate to vote for them or validate their achievement in government. If you are talking about infrastructure, I understand that we have hard infrastructure, but also have soft infrastructure. The soft infrastructure usually are not visible. They can usually be investment in maybe telecommunication equipment, it could be investment in internet data, it could be investment in any other things, many things that can enhance the livelihood of the people. But when we are talking about hard infrastructure, these are things that are visible to the ordinary eye of the person. And when politicians tell you that I have been able to do this, I have been able to do that, then you, the local person who live in that community, is not able to see those things. Or maybe you have seen them, but the state at which it was told that it has advanced to, it's not like that. Then you can match your local knowledge and experience about that project to what is being delivered at the national level. But it also may occur in several typologies, whether you are connecting at the local level. So we have micro level infrastructural development that are tailored to meet the day-to-day basic needs of the people, including water, including sanitation, including health facilities, including toilets and all those things that connect directly to the personal livelihoods and needs of the people at the grassroots level.
So you heard the political scientist, Dr. Ali Dusedu there. Well, we've been verifying some of these projects across the country. Let's start from the Upper East region, where correspondent Albert Sorry joins us. Albert, you've been checking on the dam projects. What specific project site did you visit and what did you find?
Yes, Araba. So we've been checking on the Dakio and Kajelo dams. Dakio is in the Volga East district, and Kajelo is in the Kasina-Nankana West district of the Upper East region. Now, these are dams that in the past we visited as part of our coverage of the One Village, One Dam project. So this morning we just decided to check, mainly because these two dams were listed as completed dams in what the government did yesterday. So in Dakio, for instance, the first time we visited the dam, the community members, including the chief, said that the dam was shallow and the water in it was not enough for them to be able to use for dry season farming. That situation.
All right, so that's Albert Sorry. He's our Upper East regional correspondent. And stick and stay with this network because we'll bring you more updates from our correspondents across the country who've been verifying some of these projects. But of course, you shouldn't be a spectator, you should be a citizen. And as the Vice President said, there's a website there dedicated to all of these projects. It's called the deliverytracker.gov website. So you can go to that website, and if you go there, you'll see, Ghana Beyond Aid, you see 2016 Manifesto Tracker, you'll see Infrastructure Tracker, and you'll see reports. So let's go to reports and see what we can find there. There you see all the regions and the details of all the projects in those regions. You have the Ashanti region, the Bono-Ahafo region, the Greater Accra region. So let's try the Greater Accra region and see what we'll find there. All right, so it's loading. This is the network, but essentially when you go there, you're expected to see the projects that have been embarked upon by the Akufo-Addo administration within the Greater Accra region. So they're specific, which areas within the Greater Accra region you can see these projects. When you go down, every constituency has the projects that have been embarked upon, and it also indicates in other parts of the website the stage of completion. If it's completed, it indicates so. If it's still under construction, it indicates so. So stick and stay with JoyNews, your election headquarters, because we will be verifying some of these projects. Let's turn our attention on the People's National Convention, which says it is set to elect its national executives and presidential candidates on the 19th of September this year. The party has from today opened nominations for qualified candidates. In a statement, chairman of the party, Bernard Mona, said the Congress would be decentralized to have voting done from the various regions. Of course, this is a departure from the old format of congregating at a central location to hold the National Congress. Thankfully, we are joined by Mr. Bernard Mona via Zoom. Many thanks for your time, Mr. Mona. We are some 4 months to the December polls, and your party is selecting executives on September 19th. Is that not too close to the elections? And would that give your party the requisite amount of time to organize yourselves to, make inroads into the election, if not when? Mr. Mona, you may have to unmute your microphone. So that's right. We can hear you now.
I am saying that there is a saying in Dagari that when you send an old lady to go and fetch water from the riverside, she may keep long in coming, but definitely you will get water. And so the PNC may be delayed in our activities, but certainly we are getting there. And September 19th, God willing, all other things would have come into place and would have had a flag bearer, would have had a set of officials that the party would determine to move the party to the next level.
Right.
We are hopeful that we should be able to get a presidential candidate that will be able to give the needed push to ensure that we are able to position ourselves sufficiently for the people of Ghana to buy into the PNC ideas which have been implemented by successive government in bits. One thing that is certain is that at yesterday's NEC meet, members all realized that some activities led or hindered our ability to organize the National Delegates Congress, and that there was not enough time to want to waste on any other thing. And therefore, they set up the date, taking into cognizance that the Electoral Commission in the first or second week of October will be opening nominations. It means that we couldn't have set a better date than we did yesterday. And I just want to congratulate
Mr. Mona,
all those.
Mr. Mona, I'd like to ask, you talked about a meeting that was held yesterday. We are picking up reports of some divisions in the party, reports that suggestions that your party's front may be divided, because yesterday Dr. Edward Mahama was not at that meeting. We understand that your women's organizer was not at that meeting. We understand your general secretary was not at that meeting. Is your front divided? Are you really united?
We have an acting general secretary who was at the meeting. I don't know what else you are talking about. It is obvious that Dr. Mahama could not attend the meeting. He did not give any reason whatsoever to us. Indeed, I had met Dr. Mahama on the 12th of August, and we planned that we should have this meeting. And Dr. Mahama subsequently sent me messages, and I have said that by the things that I'm hearing, I will be tempted to screenshot them and publicize them, where Dr. Mahama was talking about the two issues that we should deal with on the Tuesday, that is yesterday, 18th meeting. And one of the issues was to get a venue that will allow for social distancing, which venue we procured at the UDS guest house, and also to ensure that we were prepared to meet the expenditure in terms of transportation and accommodation for NEC members who will be traveling from far. So if you have communicated this, and it is not only me you send this information to, your inability to appear yesterday cannot invalidate the outcome of that meeting.
Right, let's talk about those who may or may not lead the PNC into the December polls. Already we know of Samson Awengobit. Who else has expressed interest?
At this material moment that we have open nominations, should we continue to speculate about the possibilities? I'm sure when the Congress Committee avails the nomination form for people to pick, we will get to know who and who will pick the nomination forms and who will return the nomination forms. You know, one thing is to express interest publicly and to also take steps to actualize your pronouncement. Obviously, you do know that Samson Awengobit probably is the first who declared his intentions Reverend Samuel Ajay Debra has also expressed his intentions. Emmanuel Anyidoho, the 2016 running mate to Edward Mama, called me and also expressed interest. Professor George Agbango, domiciled in the United States of America, had earlier on expressed his interest, but because of COVID and then the closure of our borders, I'm sure that he probably might have shelved his interest for now. And so these are the people that I know have expressed interest, and then they are going to Ghana for the position of the presidential candidate of our party.
Very well, and we will be keeping an eye on that upcoming Congress of the People's National Congress. Now, let's hit the campaign trail, because President Kofi Buah has called on Ellembelle constituents to retire the incumbent member of parliament for the area, Emmanuel Kofi Buah, in the upcoming parliamentary elections. He said the parliamentary candidate for the MPP, Kofi Buah, deserves to be rewarded with the seat this time around. Emmanuel Kofi Buah has served 3 terms as the parliamentary representative of the Ellembelle constituency. He's fiercely contested by Mr. Bonzo, who is currently the DCE for the area. The duo have been battling for the parliamentary seat since 2008. In his address to chiefs and people of Teluku in the Western region, the president stressed that he would be glad to have Mr. Bonzo elected into parliament come December 7.
The most important thing I want Ghanaians to think about me is that I don't just talk. I do what I say. I want Ghanaians to believe in me. I won't come and deceive the nation or lie. Neither will I say things I can't do. What I can do is what I say, and when I say it, I do it. It's nice that this road project is being done in collaboration with GNPC and Ghana Gas. It's a good thing because these organizations are in this region.
The cultural Ghana force our fee the year of roads.
I told Ghanaians that this year will be the year of roads. I believe Ghanaians can bear witness that I didn't make an empty declaration. The road is not a Green Book road. We are not doing Green Book propaganda. We are constructing genuine roads on the ground for all to see. My roads are visible ones.
Four more for Nana. First time for Bozo. Your investment will happen.
We have a lot of investment in Ellembelle. Kofi Buah has done well. Let's see him off nicely.
Let's stay on the MPP, this time in the Ashanti region, because the party says it's working towards attaining 90% of votes in that region. In this year's elections, the party is also bent on winning all 47 parliamentary seats in the region. General Secretary John Boydu says they will focus on resourcing the party's foot soldiers and grassroots in a door-to-door campaign to achieve this feat.
In 2016, NPP won over 76% votes in the Ashanti region. The gains were made at a time the NDC had targeted 1 million votes in the region. The party won 44 out of 47 seats, losing a draw to the NDC, who already had Asawase and Setre Afram Plains. John Boydu says the track record of the government is a boost for their campaign.
We are happy for today, and we believe that with the target that they set for themselves, working together, we'll be able to win massively. The agenda is simple, agenda 4747, and getting majority of the votes for the presidential candidate. I expect, as usual, the hard work that they've exhibited over the period, resourcing our food soldiers and grassroots to make sure that they are able to do the work that we've assigned them. And with God on our side, I believe that victory will be ours.
Meanwhile, regional leadership is pledging to adopt all means possible to deliver the targeted votes. Chairman of the campaign team, Bernard Enchibo Siako, says the opposition strategies doesn't pose a challenge.
New voter register. Electoral commission.
Election begins with voter registration. And truth be told, this new voter register will favor us. It makes our target achievable because it is clean. That is why we have dubbed this elections science and data election.
90% science and data. Electoral commission.
Of course, still on the campaign trail, the former president, John Dramani Mahama, is also continuing his tour of the Volta region. We will be bringing you that in our subsequent bulletins. But that's a wrap for Election Brief for today. I'm Arba Kumson. Join us same time every day, weekday, 1:30 to 2 p.m. Up next is Sports Today with Nathaniel Atto.